Hey, I'm Garcia, and today we're in New York. Took my wife and her family out to a little getaway weekend. Her family just left, so I was like, oh, let me record a video. I was gonna record a couple videos out here, but I messed up on something, which I'm hoping is on my table at home. I'm hoping that's where it is. But anyways, I did promise you guys a blind of the new, it's this one? The new Bernheim 20th anniversary 10 year. So I'm comparing it to the Bernheim Barrel Proof A225, which I did enjoy. Obviously, a big favorite from last year is the Maker's Mark Star Hill Farms wheat whiskey. Think I should be getting the 2026 very soon. I'll probably compare it to that as well. And this is Journeyman. This is a pick. Is this? Oh, this is not a pick. I thought this was a pick. My fault. So this is just a regular one. Corsets, whips, and whiskey. 119.7 proof. We'll see. So we have all different types of wheat whiskey. We'll see how the new 20-year anniversary, 10-year age dated stacks up versus these other ones. So let's get right into it. All right, A on the nose, not very complex at all. It's basically two notes, and one note is definitely telling me that's for the Journeyman. So it smells like cardboard and a slight grilled tomato note. And that grilled tomato note that you OGs know, I have said in the past, and the first time I ever remember getting it was on a Journeyman's product. It might even been this exact bottle. I don't remember exactly which one. That grilled tomato note always makes me think of Journeyman. So unless I pick it up again, I'm gonna guess A is that. But yeah, cardboard and grill note. So let's go to B. I don't know if this little furry thing is helping with the wind. It is a little bit wind, so I'm trying to kind of wait out the wind to do the nosing so I can actually pick up some decent notes. Because when I first started nosing B, I got spice kind of right away, which I don't expect too much out of wheat whiskeys, but it was like a nice baking spice type spice. A lot of spice. A slight ethanol note, and that's where I was like, okay, let me make sure the wind is died down, nose it again. But sweet, slight nutty, a nice oak. Yeah, I go back to it. It's a spice. It's like a specific spice too. Almost like a peppermint spice type of spice. It's a spice I don't remember ever getting before. And I've had all of these, obviously. Okay, let's go C. All right, so C on the nose. Interesting, because in the beginning, I wasn't the biggest fan. So funky, a wet oak, a wet peanut, both of those, kind of all three of those notes weren't my favorite. And then I started picking up a little bit of that spice note I got on B, which is very interesting, and a little bit of oak. Quickly go back. Yeah, it's weird that spice note I got on B is I'm picking up a little bit on D as well, or C, excuse me. Let's go to D. Man, D was so promising in the beginning. Sweet oak, very bourbon forward, and then it gave me a little bit of the slight permanent black marker note, but I would still probably think that's probably my favorite nose out of the four. Let's go to the palate. Now going back to the nose on A, I still get the cardboard and that grilled tomato note, but it's a little bit more like vanilla sweet as well. Kind of balances it nicely, actually. Anyways, palate. All right, A on the palate, we have that it's the nose again. So the cardboard, slight grilled tomato note, vanilla, sweet, some red fruit, and then on the finish, sweet, a funky wheat, and it was very quick. But first sip of whiskey of today. That's why I didn't do this video yesterday. I went to a couple distilleries on the way up here, like tiny distilleries in New York. One was Orange County Distilling, the other one was Denning Point, I believe. And so I picked up some of those bottles. So I cracked all of those last night with the cigars and by the fire pit behind me. This property is pretty cool. There's a pond over here. There's a pond behind me. It's 125 acres. There's a lake over here that I was rowboating myself while fishing yesterday. I don't remember the last time I rowboat, but yeah, that was a lot of fun, rowboating by myself and trying to fish at the same time. With the wind pushing me into things, good time. Anyways, second sip, more of the same. The finish is pretty quick. It does not linger at all. It's okay, definitely crafty, but man, that grilled tomato note, it's not too strong. It is slight. There's a good enough balance of sweetness there. I don't know if I would 100% recommend this as like a beginner's pour. This is definitely something unique that you can pull. Did I just spill it all over myself? Calm down. Okay. I would have wanted spinning. If you hear gunshots, so we heard gunshots yesterday over here. I hear gunshots now to my left. Right over here to my right, there's literally targets up. I need to ask the Airbnb person to be like, if I come here again, am I able to use these targets? Because I would have loved to bring some of my guns out here and just shot at some targets. That would have been a lot of fun. But I didn't know that there was a whole like range on this property. Anyways, third step. Get some spice on the finish this time, but still very quick finish. It's okay. Definitely something unique. Even for like a craft distillery, again, I'm assuming this is the Journeyman's because that tomato note, but even for like a smaller distillery, it's not crafty in the point where it tastes youthful corn forward. Well, it's a wheat whiskey, but it doesn't taste like young that way, but does have that cardboardy note, which I attribute to being a craft distillery or a craft bottle. Let's go to B. So right now, I don't like B on the first sip. I don't know what is going on with this B, because that slight ethanol note I got on the nose is also on the palate, and all of these should be decent. I'm not liking that note at all. Some sweetness, on the finish, dark sweetness, but that ethanol note is kind of the main thing now. Very interesting. I'm looking at the bottles. I'm like, there's a, you know, they're all about halfway done. Ear, is it ear? Is it ear messing up this bottle? Go second sip. That second sip was so different than the first sip and so good. So I don't know what happened with the first sip at all. Second sip, oak, some wheat funk, marshmallow, which I had marshmallows yesterday, so I know that taste. Slight nuttiness, if I didn't say that already. On the finish, red fruit, sweet, and oak. That second sip, way better than that first sip. I didn't get that ethanol note. I'm so confused on how that just disappeared when it was the strongest note on the first sip. Let's see what happens on the third one. I mean, what a night and day difference between that first sip and the second and third. That's really good. I really enjoy that. There's a lot of good sweetness, good oak, good red fruit. You definitely, I feel like you know this is a wheat whiskey instead of like a bourbon or rye, but I did a double blind the other day, and let me tell you, looking like a dummy. So maybe I wouldn't know if that's a wheat whiskey or not. Okay, so let's go to C. Ooh, on the nose, almost want to say s'mores. I feel like I get the cracker, the marshmallow, and the chocolate. That's freaking nice. Amazed because I had like 15 s'mores yesterday, because, you know, why wouldn't I? We had to finish everything. And not the longest finish, but fantastic. If you like a certain note. Instantly, I liked it more than B, and I was starting to really like B. There's a nice sweetness to C with some nice oak. So sweet, red fruit, nice mouthfeel, which again, I don't write too much, but was noticeable. Vanilla and watermelon Jolly Rancher, which I don't say nearly as much as I do red Jolly Rancher or green Jolly Rancher, but like the watermelon Jolly Rancher, I could almost taste like the sweetness of the watermelon candy. It was awesome. But again, if you don't like that, I don't know. It wasn't like crazy strong, and I don't know if everyone would pick up on that, but you know, everyone gives a lot of shit about Jolly Rancher notes, so here's another one for you. On the finish, sweet oak, watermelon Jolly Rancher again. Let's see if the second sip is completely different than the first sip, like B. Interesting. It kind of got a little bit worse. So the only new note I wrote on the finish and the palate were just the same, was wheat funk, and that kind of like funkiness. Obviously, when you're enjoying something and then something kind of goes there, and it's different, but maybe not your favorite note. Obviously, it's gonna bring down your enjoyment of it. Where B got better, C got a little bit worse. But let's see third sip. All right, C kind of was a good mixture of A and B, where I got a lot of that sweetness, that watermelon Jolly Rancher note, and some of that wheat funk, like all intertwined, which is fine because it gives a good enough balance. I feel like the second sip was a little bit too wheat funk heavy, but maybe I'm just getting used to it. But man, it's crazy how different. That was a roller coaster, just sip by sip by sip. It's funny because when I first got to C, I immediately enjoyed it more than B, but then it started going down a little bit. So, you know, I kind of score them as I go, just kind of give me a base point where I go back and forth. Well, let's go to D. I mean, D first sip is very, very good. I feel like it's in a different league. Based off of the proof that is drinking, I'm guessing it's the barrel proof because it's the hottest by about, I don't know, like 8-ish proof points. But on the palate, sweet, intense, richer, red fruit, vanilla, oak, proofier, red Jolly Rancher. On the finish, oak, wheatish. So it wasn't the wheat funk like I was kind of getting on some other pours. There was some wheatish undertones there, which makes sense, right? They're all wheat whiskeys. Red fruit, sweet, nice linger. Kind of get a little chocolatey notes, but I'll see if I can pick that up on the second sip because it's very slight. But I do enjoy this a lot. And if this is the barrel proof, I just splashed on myself, damn it. I don't know why, like I get in this habit of spinning them, even when I'm not nosing them. Just, I don't know, I get carried in my hand, I just want to twist it. And then I spill all over myself like a crazy person. Anyways, I'm ranting a lot today. Not ranting, I'm talking a lot today. I'm just, you know, kind of enjoying the peace and quiet that is now. So you guys are here enjoying it with me, in my opinion. You guys are drinking along with me. It's been a nice weekend, but this is very peaceful, and I love recording these videos. Kind of want to bring you along on this little trip that we did. Second sip on D. I didn't get the chocolate note, but there's a dark sweetness. I was kind of thinking, I was like, you know, rattling off the different, like honey, brown sugar, you know, marshmallow, just thinking of different just sweetness. I couldn't exactly pinpoint it, so I just wrote dark sweetness on the palate. Again, still very good on the palate and finish. Didn't drastically change like B and C. So let's go to the third sip. I think most people would like D. So I drink obviously a lot of whiskey, and sometimes I'll be like, you know, this is kind of maybe a divisive pour because it's very different. I think D most people will like. There is something on the back palate that is maybe that wheat note that I can see maybe some people not enjoying that much, but overall, very, very good. All right, so now I'm gonna drink some water and A/B these. And I'll come back with some scores and any new notes. Be right back. All right, we're back, and I got some scores, and I kind of knew what A and D were. At least I guessed them right in my head. B and C, I had no idea which one was which, and I'm kind of surprised by the results. But first, let's do a giveaway. If you want to enter to win 2-ounce samples of all 4 of these, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with WWWB as in Bravo. So Wheat Whiskey Wednesday Bernheim. That's the acronym I just did in my head. So WWWB. All right, so how this kind of worked out is I kind of knew my first and last place, and I A/B'd B and C a bunch of times. Now, obviously, I went back and forth all of them, but B and C were kind of where I was stuck on between those two. So let's get into the results. In a distant last place was the Journeyman, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just these were all kind of significantly better than the Journeymans, which I think based off of just age and price probably that kind of makes sense. But I scored a 3.1. Now in third place we have the Star Hill from last year. Nothing wrong with this. I know this was like a lot of people's like top list of the year. I just enjoyed the sweetness of the new 20th anniversary Bernheim, which I was in second place. We'll score 3.7. And I don't know if I said it, but the Star Hill I scored 3.6. I would have to go back and kind of look to see what I've scored the Star Hill Farms before to see if it's getting worse. But it was decent. Again, I just like the sweetness of the Bernheim. The Bernheim also had a little bit more complexity and a unique note. That watermelon Jolly Rancher note is not something I get a lot. I know you guys like give me shit that I say Jolly Rancher all the time, but it's usually red. So the winner today is this Bernheim Barrel Proof A225. I have enjoyed this multiple times. I think it's won most of the blinds it's been in. So good on that. Like I rarely ever see the Bernheim Barrel Proofs in Connecticut. And when I do, it's usually this batch because I would love to get a couple more. I would love to pick up 2026s. I don't know if that's even out yet. You know, I haven't even seen and I haven't heard anyone talk about the Elijah Craig A batch for Larceny or bourbon. And there was a whole discussion we've had in the past about like how they're not putting it out yet. I don't know. So if you know anything about that, definitely tell me in the comments. But so that was today. So the new 20th anniversary did pretty well today. Now, do you have to run out to the store and go buy it because it's that good? No, but it is decent. A lot of people were going crazy about the Star Hill Farm last year, and I do prefer the Bernheim 20-year over it. But I probably do another review of the 25-year soon when I get to 26. So we'll see how it kind of does against the new Star Hill Farms. But I should be able to do that relatively soon. That should be one of my upcoming videos as long as I get the new bottle. Don't look stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye.